all of the people in NWI have been in the trenches now for decades. And we all have watched this occur and watched the damage that's been done to our national forests with amazement. It is unbelievable what we are seeing happen. And I think Jim Petersen put it well in his book. There's been several books, lots of research done, and it continues to happen. We all need to assure that the legacy, the beauty, and the bounty of our national forests are preserved. And somehow, in the last 30 years or so, a lot of the things we, did and fought for our entire careers have been undone. And it's very, very sad to see. So I was going to start out with a op-ed I did August 24th, 2004. At that time, I was director of the Hayfork Fire Protection District, and we were very concerned with what we saw in terms of fuel loading and lack of attention to fuel conditions in Trinity County that was affecting the volunteer fire departments, the ability to do necessary fuels work, you name it. There was a real concern. So on August 24th, 2004, I submitted an op-ed to the Record Searchlight regarding the lack of fuels management on national forest in Trinity County. Since that time, environmental zealots have shut down most logging and needed fuel mitigation. The influence of the Endangered Species Act, many court decisions favoring preservation and halting land management made cleaning up the massive fuel loads after fire and insect and disease outbreaks nearly impossible. We now have approximately half our national forest, 100 million acres, in a condition that is ready to burn. And that is a conclusion by the Forest Service, 100 million acres ready to burn. Multiple fires on the same landscape are converting our once prime forest to brush and invasive weedy vegetation. It is estimated that it is now costing the American public over $1 trillion a year to manage the fire situation, which is, as most of us agree, is unmanaged. So as we continue to pay large nonprofit environmental organizations under the Equal Access to Justice Act, fuels management work on the public lands is still not near the pace and scale it needs to be to protect rural communities and rural forests. How in the world can that be happening? So in this op-ed that I did, it was entitled Catastrophic Reburns Threaten Forest Towns. I'll give you the first few paragraphs of that op-ed. It is time to redefine the political debate about salvage of fire-killed trees. The fighting is about doing the economically responsible action using fire-killed saw timber and recovering economic value, or leaving the land alone and letting it naturally recover. Nothing is natural about the current fire threat to Western communities and families left with the remains of a forest fire on the edge of their community. The threat is very real and not a debating point. We have areas around these towns now, because no fuels work has been able to occur, that have hundreds of tons of dead, dying, and drying fuel that they're going to have to deal with. And right now, the emphasis is on thinning. And of course, we have to do some thinning too to get the fire resilience factors back in to our forests. But it's absolutely ridiculous to me to drive around and see these risks remaining out there. And we all know there's all kinds of research out there that said those landscape conditions with that dead fuel is going to be a time bomb. And yet, in California, there are now hundreds of communities surrounded by that fuel time. I'm totally amazed. So I'm sorry, I get a little bit upset when I speak about this, because I've been making PowerPoint presentations and talking about it for about 25 years. And can nobody look at these fuel conditions and reason about what they mean, about understanding it? It's unbelievable to me. Anyway, I'll go on a little bit. In the past 6 years, we have seen big stand destroying fires burn to the edges of our towns. And then I mentioned a number of those fires. And I will say, you know, having written this 20 years ago, that 4 out of the 7 towns that I mentioned have had large destructive fires that have burned houses, destroyed countless acres of national forest. And I'm talking about, you know, total stand replacement. One of the burnouts on the August complex burned, this is a burnout. It burned about 70,000 acres of old growth trees. Over 100 spotted owl nesting cores. Anybody that raise a red flag for anybody? Anybody really concerned about the owl? And all I'm seeing is pseudoscience that has taken the place of real science. And I'll say that Bob Zybach is a champion of somebody who has persisted in telling the truth and giving good examples of good research. And we need a lot more Bob Zybach. And if I could, I would turn the computer around and show you my refrigerator, which has my 6 great-grandchildren on it. And if we can't do it for anything else, let's try to save our national forest for them. I'm Roger Jaegel. I'm coming to you from Redding, California. And I already mentioned we're in the middle of a atmospheric river here. Nadine, if she was outside, is soaked, believe me. Uh, so I've lived in Reading for the last 8 years. And before that, I was in a small town in Trinity County. Nadine lived there for quite a while as well, Hayfork, California. And I was there for almost 70 years, served a career in the Forest Service, primarily in fire control, as we called it then, fire control, engineering, and resource management. So, in addition to that, I was timber utilization specialist for the Watershed Research and Training Center and their training director for about 9 years. I then served on the Trinity County Board of Supervisors for 8 years. And that was the most challenging part of my working career.